So let's get right into it. We all basically live on the internet, right? But have you ever really thought about the invisible systems, these hidden walls that quietly shape our entire online experience? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on digital filtering. You know the feeling. It starts with something like this. You click a link, you search for a video, and bam, blocked. Restriction. This quote from a super frustrated Reddit user just nails that feeling perfectly. You know the content is right there, but something, somewhere, is standing in your way.
So yeah, why does this happen? Is it just some random error? A glitch in the system? Or is there a deliberate, carefully built system at work? That's the big question we're going to tackle. To really get why these walls even exist, you first have to understand the problem they're built to solve. And that problem, really, in one word, is chaos. Let's dig into why anyone would even want to build these digital walls in the first place. Take a look at this number, 42%. According to some fascinating research from an organization called WARS, if you take a typical corporate network and just let it run wild with no filtering, a staggering 42% of all the websites people visit are either totally unnecessary for work, or worse, they're downright dangerous. Just let that sink in. Nearly half of all the traffic is either a waste of resources or a potential threat. And that 42% isn't just some number on a page. Oh no, it translates into very real, very messy problems for anyone trying to manage that network. You've got people downloading massive files, totally clogging up the works. You have huge security holes opening up from sketchy websites. Productivity just tanks because of games or social media. And all those uncontrolled connections? They become wide open doors for viruses. It's pure digital chaos.
You know, what's interesting is this points to a much bigger idea. When we're faced with total chaos, our instinct is to create order. And that drive, it isn't just for computer networks, it's happened with entire nations.
For a perfect example, just look at Canada before 1867. It wasn't one country yet, but a bunch of separate colonies that were facing this perfect storm of problems. Their government was at a total standstill, their economy was collapsing, they had military threats on their border, and they were worried about their entire culture just being swallowed up. It was a state of national chaos. Sound familiar?
So what did they do? Confederation. They banded together. But it wasn't some grand patriotic dream, not really. It was a practical, last-ditch effort to keep from falling apart. See the parallel? Just like Confederation created an ordered nation from chaos, network filtering tries to create an ordered digital space from chaos. The core motivation is exactly the same: control and survival. Okay, so we've established we need to build these digital walls to create order. What are the tools for the job? Who are the guards at the gate? Well, the two big players you always hear about are firewalls and proxies. They might sound kind of the same, but trust me, they have very different jobs.
First up, the firewall. The easiest way to think of a firewall is like the main bouncer for your entire network. It stands right at the front door, and it checks the ID of every single piece of data trying to get in or out. Its entire job is to be a security barrier, and it operates based on a very strict set of rules. And then you've got the proxy server. Now, this isn't the bouncer at the main door. A proxy is more like a personal concierge or a middleman. When you want to visit a website, you don't go there directly. You tell the proxy, and the proxy goes out onto the internet for you. It fetches all the information and brings it back, which is great for keeping your own identity, your IP address, hidden from the outside world.
So let's just lay it all out side by side. A firewall is a security barrier for the entire network. Think of it as protecting the whole fortress. A proxy, on the other hand, is an intermediary that handles individual requests from inside. It's not guarding the walls, it's managing the messages going in and out. Two very different but very important jobs.
All right, so we've met the guards. Now, let's take a peek inside their toolbox. How do these things actually do the filtering? Well, there are a few different methods they can use, and each one comes with its own set of pros and cons. Here's a quick rundown based on that WARS paper. You've got the simple stuff, like IP blocking. It's easy to do, but it's like using a sledgehammer. You might accidentally block an entire apartment building just to get one person. A little more precise is DNS distortion. It's more accurate, but any savvy user can get around it pretty easily. And then there's the heavy-duty stuff, like deep packet filtering. This is incredibly powerful. It can inspect everything, but the downside is it can really slow your connection down. As you can see, it's always a trade-off between power and performance.
So that's all the theory. But how does this all come together in a system that, let's be honest, you probably use every single day? Let's take a closer look at Google Workspace.
And this brings us right back to where we started, that Reddit post. That Google Workspace restriction message, it's not a bug. It's a feature. It's the end result of a real person, an administrator, using a very powerful suite of tools to enforce a set of rules.
And this is the command center. For a Google Workspace admin, a dashboard like this is mission control. This is where they build and maintain all those digital walls for their entire organization. It's where the rules are made.
So what's in this toolkit? Oh, pretty much everything you can imagine. Admins can manage every single user. They can decide who gets to use services like Gmail or YouTube. They can configure every little security setting, and they can actively watch the network for any signs of trouble. They are, for all intents and purposes, the architects of their company's digital world.
And the level of control gets unbelievably specific. Just take email security, for example. An admin doesn't just flip a switch that says safe email. No, they go through a detailed checklist, putting up layer after layer of protection. They're setting up technical protocols to stop people from faking email addresses, configuring filters for spam and phishing, and even setting up rules for certain words or types of content. Every single one of these steps is another brick in that wall.
Okay, so let's zoom all the way out. We've seen why we build these walls, the tools we use to build them, and how they're used in the real world. So what does it all mean for us? You know, the people actually living and working inside these filtered spaces.
And it's important to remember, this isn't just about what your boss wants. As organizations like WARS, that's the World Association of Scientists, Researchers, and Engineers, show us, this is an active, constantly evolving field of computer science. These systems are always being researched and refined.
So, when you boil it all down, here's what you're left with. A fundamental trade-off. The exact same firewall that keeps a nasty virus from getting into your network might also be the reason you can't watch a harmless YouTube video. The proxy that keeps your browsing secure could also be used to log your activity. Protection and restriction, they are two sides of the very same coin.
And that leaves us with one last really big question to chew on. These systems, these digital walls, they're only getting more advanced, more automated, more intelligent. So as they get smarter, how do we, as users, as employees, as a society, strike the right balance between necessary protection and essential freedom? It's definitely something to think about the next time you see that access denied message pop up on your screen.